In early February, the BMA's England GP Committee voted to accept a package of changes to the GP contract for 2020-21, which includes a significant new funding to attract more doctors to take up partnership roles and to expand the practice team working in surgeries, and to help relieve the workload burden carried by so many GPs and practice staff. We were able to achieve this major improvement because we knew we had a united and engaged profession backing us, and this helped to create opportunities for genuine, positive change. And in the contract changes for the year ahead, that is exactly what we have won. This is much needed progress for general practice. Following the publication just before Christmas of NHS England's draft service specifications for primary care networks, the profession responded to NHS England with one clear voice, through almost 4,000 responses highlighting serious concerns about unrealistic workload and micromanagement. We told NHS England and government that GPs and practices must be trusted to deliver good quality care for patients without further micromanagement, and that the underfunding of vital general practice services cannot continue. We said practices must have more control over what they do and how they utilise new staff. We said primary care networks must be a vehicle for supporting practices and reducing the unsustainable workload burden they carry, and not a means to adding to it. We said practices were struggling to recruit and fund the additional workforce required as part of PCNs, and that 100% funding from NHS England was essential. And we said there was needed to be more investment made at practice level to enable practices to determine how they developed their workforce and delivered their services for their patients. After tough negotiations, we have made major steps forward in delivering on all of our goals. And after years of underfunding and increased demand, we can start to see signs of turning the corner. We now have a contract package that will provide more funding, more support for an increased workforce in our practices, and a clear commitment to the partnership model of working. And this is not only for the next 4 years, we have won an explicit commitment for the long term. In the past, we have seen funding promises which appear to be little more than smoke and mirrors, with local resources taken away as national funding is secured. We will not stand for false promises that don't deliver the benefits we have agreed, and so as part of this contract, it has been agreed that GPs will be able to monitor the delivery of promised money, with CCGs told to provide LMCs with annual updates detailing progress. 2 years ago, I persuaded government to commission an independent review of the partnership model of working. That review concluded with clear recommendations about the value of the independent contractor model, and I'm therefore pleased that we have now also secured through this contract clear recognition of the importance of the GP provider model, with £20,000 available to all new partners and £3,000 for the new partner for their training. It also includes important support for childcare costs to help GPs returning to practice with children under 11, and a locum support scheme, including CPD offered and, after years of pressure, securing more time in general practice for GP trainees. We've also agreed important changes that will benefit all our patients. This is not just through increasing the practice team as we try to address the access pressures across the country, but also through important changes to improve uptake of life-saving immunisations and vaccinations, changes to QoF in line with best clinical evidence and backed by additional funding to Global Sum, enabling all practices to offer important dedicated postnatal health checks for all mothers. Many GPs have already told me that the progress we've made through these negotiations could prove to be game-changing for the profession. Through this contract, we can reduce financial burdens on practices. We can increase the workforce delivering primary care, and we can organise services to better suit our colleagues and our patients. And by doing all of this, we can start to reduce the current GP workload burden. However, we are very aware that these changes won't fix the crisis gripping general practice overnight, and there is still much more work to be done. As the specifications for PCNs continue to be discussed and the plans roll out further, it is crucial the spirit and tone of this agreement is kept in mind. General practitioners must not face increased workload or micromanagement as a result of any new changes, and this is an opportunity for genuine positive change, and we will not allow that to be lost. It's also vital that the investment into and focus on primary care does not end here. We still have practices across the country working in premises that are unfit for purpose. Far too many are too small to cater for the demands of an increased population, the planned increase in the workforce, or provide space for GP trainees spending more time in surgeries. And then there are the many GP practices that are forced to cope with out-of-date computer hardware and software, sluggish internet service and digital systems that do not help to decrease unnecessary attendances or manage the needs of patients. Investment into infrastructure, technology and equipment is vital, and we expect the government to recognise this in the upcoming budget and subsequent spending reviews. And crucially, we must see the government act to remove the punitive annual allowance tax charge, which is currently leaving GPs with no choice but to reduce their working hours or quit the service altogether. It cannot be right that hard-working doctors are being penalised for their dedication to their patients. There is therefore still much to do, but with a united profession supporting us, we will continue to work for positive change that delivers for GPs, practices, and for our patients.